Hey, this is Kathleen, and I had promised to make you a video today. It's Wednesday, 5:21, and I thought I would be doing this a lot sooner. I was absolutely swamped with research questions today coming at me via email, via chat, appointments, but I'm not complaining because it was completely awesome and that's what I love to do. But I did want to get this video in the can, so to speak, because I promised. And one of the things I like to do is keep promises to my students. But the other thing is I really like to make these little reflective videos, since you folks have to create a reflection on which you mull over the content we covered in class. It seems only fair that I should too. So this was week one, and we actually spent a lot of time on just housekeeping activities, right? That's when I discovered in the infamous syllabus incident that the course syllabus was in fact my 2019 course syllabus. So I just want to assure you that has been fixed. I also, under an email of separate cover, sent you a copy of this syllabus because it's really important to have. Obviously, this is the best way to just quickly link to my to our classes on Monday, to make an appointment with me, which I love when you make appointments with me, and also my office hour, which I hold every Wednesday via Zoom from 12 to 2. And I just open up a Zoom room and you can drop in anytime. It will be open. Note that I am required to have a password, so my Zoom room has a password. And as you know, because you attended class, so does the class. So that's kind of a big thing that we did on Monday, was really just get acquainted with the class. I tried to give you the layout of the Canvas shell, let you know that I'm a very module-based person. So for instance, everything you need to successfully navigate through week one will be in my week one module. I'm never going to try to trick you. So a great way to prepare for the week, to get your headspace all lined up, a great way to prepare for the quizzes is to go over the weekly learning objectives. I set these for myself, and basically it just means everything we do in a week, the conversations we have, the lectures I give, the videos I post, the instructional content I put up, everything is aimed really at you being able to do or know things by Sunday night, right? So for instance, by Sunday night, I want you to be able to, not even having to look at your notes, tell me what my policies are regarding attendance and late work. It's really important. It sounds like a silly thing, but I have had students, it can be a real, let's just say it can be a real challenge for some of you to get work in on time. It's a challenge for me. Time management is something I struggle with a lot. So I just want to make sure you get a lot of practice this semester. So that's why I accept late work, but I always dink it a little bit because I'm actually just trying to train you. You know, like almost everybody in this class does the work. The work isn't rocket science. A lot of it's fun. Some people have trouble turning it in on time. And I just want those people to know that I will accept their work. I'm always grateful when you participate and do the work, but I do deduct 10% per day because I'm trying to get you on the back end of your life to like really start working on your organization skills. And of course, I have information about, I want you to know that if you miss 3 classes and you're not doing the work, I will drop you. And I want you to know that because I never want to hurt your feelings. I don't want to surprise you with bad news. And honestly, I really want you to get in touch with me always at the beginning disaster and let me know like disaster might be approaching, and we'll come up with a plan. Okay, so anyways, my point really is, when I have these learning objectives, when I say by the end of the week you're going to know this stuff, you're going to be able to do this stuff. Right now it's mainly know, right? It's going to be do much more in ensuing weeks. But everything here. So again, I ask you to be able to parrot back to me my attendance and late work policies. There it is in red, right? I ask you to, to be able to explain why your attendance and participation in my class matters. Not everybody's, not like in general, but why I want you specifically here. And reading and reflecting is just, it's important. You are part of our community of learners, and so I'm really big on that. This is a beautiful blank page because this is a discussion we had in class. Remember, we defined information and you guys did really well, and I still remember how impressed I was, how much you all value knowledge, you value facts, you value good information that you can use for good purposes, and that's great, and that's totally our end game in this class, right? But I also reminded you what's important to know that is that you are kind of swimming in a sea of information. There is so much information coming at us from every different direction, and a lot of it's nonsense, a lot of it is conflicting, right? And so really, when I talk about information literacy, being skilled at navigating information, a big part of that is the ability to sift through all the BS to land upon what you want, which are facts, which is information that can be transformed into knowledge and useful knowledge, right? Knowledge you can actually use for wonderful purposes, whether that is writing papers for school or looking up the best way to facilitate a meeting at work, or figuring out if you should get a vaccine, right? We can use information literacy, this ability to locate information, to kind of know when you need information, but then you locate it, you evaluate it, and you use it. I had just this little, I love this graphic, and it's probably because I work so closely with COM faculty, so I'm really into information, specifically how it is communicated, and the roles that we as individuals play in the communication process, in the world of information. And sometimes we are creators of information, senders of information. Very often we are receivers of information. We provide feedback. And one of my goals in this class is for you for that process to be really transparent to you, so that you think meaningfully on the information that comes across your field of vision. You don't just accept it, but you always question it and ask yourself, who sent this, and why was the message constructed in this particular way? Why did I get it via meme or via a newspaper article or via text, right? And what feedback am I going to provide for the sender of this information? Am I going to share it? Am I going to comment on it? Am I going to use it, right? So this is not on the quiz. It will be on a future quiz. I just want you to start thinking about this now, because information creation as a process is one of the threshold concepts of information literacy. It's one of the most important things you grow to understand as you start to master information literacy. The next few slides I just want to lump together and remind you of their importance. I have talked consistently, I did on Monday and I'm doing it now, about the 3 areas where information literacy plays a huge role in your life. And that is your school, your work, and your everyday world. And so this slide just goes over, this is just a fun little graphic I made when I was learning a new computer program, and it just kind of goes over the steps of research. And there's a lot of steps of research, right? You don't just choose a topic and pick your sources. It's a journey, and you're going to learn how to navigate that journey with expertise. So one of the ways information literacy really serves you as a human is in your academic world. However, it's really essential that you know that's not where it ends. This class will make you a better researcher at MJC, and when you transfer, you will be able to succeed beyond your wildest expectations on papers and speeches and presentations, but this skill set is not limited to college. I just want to encourage you to read over these and just really start thinking about how often we need information. And how often we look for information. And sometimes it's just silly information, quick, easy facts and data to retrieve. But a lot of times in the real world, we're making really important decisions that affect our health, that affect the health of those and safety and happiness of those that we love, right? So information literacy, just as a part of health and happiness for the everyday citizen, essential in my mind. And then your employers want you to be able to work independently. They want you to be able to find the best ways of doing things. They want you to be able to teach others the best way of doing things. And so this part just goes over some great statistics and specific skills that employers have actually said this is what we're looking for in our college graduates. So this class and this skill set is going to help you on 3 different realms. The one thing I didn't go over, and it's okay, it's not on the quiz, and it's really intense, is this slide, which deals with the threshold concepts of information literacy. And a threshold concept is basically an idea. It is basically knowledge that you have that can be a little hard to come by. It can be a little difficult to understand, but once you get it, it changes everything. Let me give you a funny example from like a real world example. My mom was a drug and alcohol counselor, and she was very into the idea, the notion of codependence. And the idea that we as individuals, no matter how much we want to, we cannot fundamentally change the behavior of other people. That is on them. And what we end up doing often is enabling other people to indulge in less than positive behaviors when we take responsibility, because they get to abdicate responsibility. So I'm just saying this is something my mother has taught me since I was a child. And I heard her, and I understood exactly what she meant by saying those words, but that didn't mean I didn't fall into many relationship traps in which I'm an adult child of an alcoholic. I am an enabler. And so it actually took experience. My knowledge came about experientially, not from somebody just telling me, but I had to kind of live it. So it was hard to come by, but now I cannot get it out of my mind. And that particular bit of knowledge is really helpful, right? Because I know now when I'm in relationships and people are not behaving like I want them to, which happens a lot, that is not on me. Like I can give that up now, right? I can either put up with it or not, but I'm sure not going to try to change it. So that's my little real world example of what I mean by threshold concept, threshold knowledge. It's intense. It's not always easy to learn. It's experientially driven. But once you have it, you'll never forget it. And we have threshold concepts in our discipline, information literacy. And the one I've just talked about is information creation as a process. And that's exactly what I meant when I said, I want you to get to the point where it's just automatic for you to when you receive information, start going over the process. Who sent this and why did they use this language, and what do they want me to believe, and what feedback am I going to give them? It seems weird now, but if I do my job and you diligently practice and want to learn, that's going to be automatic for you, as are all of these. Scholarship is conversation. When we get to the end of our reading for the week, what I gave you this week, in fact, were 3 videos. And there are 3 videos that talk about exactly what we talked about in class. In fact, let's go to them. Right? What is information literacy and why is it important? This is the reflection. This is on the quiz. This is the heart of this week. I want you to understand this so we can move on. We spent time discussing it. I have material on it. I'm talking about it now. Yet it's still essential that you hear other voices in the conversation. I'm not the decider. I'm not the king of knowledge, like information literacy is what I say it is. No, I have my notions of what information literacy is and why it's important. But there are lots of really smart, awesome people out there who also have notions of what information literacy is and why it's important. And because you're a learner and because scholarship is conversation, I want you to hear other voices in the conversation. So I'm providing videos, and then I'm forcing you to reflect on it, and a reflection to me. I actually have a quiz question on it too, because it's only through listening to other voices in the conversation and participating yourself actively and enthusiastically in scholarly conversations that you learn. And that's the whole end game for me, is for you to learn. Again, these are really important skills, and I want you to have them. I want you to have them because I promise you your life is going to be way better if you have them and master them. Yeah, I think you all have some of them now, but we can all improve, right? Anyway, the rest of the module are just our homework assignments. I've already sent you an announcement. You can always, if you delete the announcements, you can always, link to them. But remember, your homework for the week will always be in the module. If you miss class, you never have to wonder, what's my homework? All you have to do is go to the module, look under the heading homework, and it's going to be there. I will always start with what I want you, what I didn't cover in class, videos, readings, podcasts, etc., that will help you succeed on reflections and quizzes. So, please, again, always access that link, and I promise it will always help you. And I also promise I'm not going to give you really boring stuff to read, because that's not my style. I want you to like this subject. You have an information survey that's due tonight, which is Wednesday. It's 10 points. It's just about you. This is nothing you have to cram for. I was advised to only give you 2 points for this, but I love you. I'm giving you 10. Tomorrow, our discussions, our first discussion, which is kind of getting acquainted, the first part of those, the main post is due tomorrow at midnight. And then remember, by Sunday at midnight, you have to respond to 2 peers. And then I actually moved the reflection due date from Friday night to Sunday night. And that's just going to be for all 10 weeks. I decided, there's a pandemic on, the state's on fire. It's an election year. I want to give you a Friday night. So nothing is due on Friday. The reflections and the quizzes are now due on Sunday night, both of them. Quizzes always were. But let me just recommend you start working on them early. You start thinking about them, because I have to say the reflections are the best part of what I get to read. It's how I get to know you. It's how I get to know how you are taking in the material and how I can help you absorb it better, right? What you're understanding, what you're not understanding. And, you can dash these off, because honestly, if you turn them in on time and make word count, there's no wrong answer. It's how you feel. You're going to get full points. But it's so much better if you can really reveal to me how the curriculum is working on your brain. So even though this isn't due on Sunday night, why not just read the reflection prompt early, right? It's down here. So you can start thinking about it. So by the time you sit down on your word processor, which I recommend because it does word count and spell check, it doesn't have to be an essay. It doesn't have to be pretty, but I appreciate word count and spell check. By the time you sit down to submit this work, you've got some ideas, some meaningful ideas to share with me, which is just kind of the point. And so again, reflection no longer due on Friday nights, they're due on Sunday nights. But I love getting work early. And then your quiz. Your quizzes are usually worth 20 points. This week is worth 10 because I'm giving you 10 for that easy peasy survey. So, it's more low stakes this week. And it'll also give you an idea of how quizzes work, right? So I usually... the lowest quiz of the semester, I usually take off, right? So you have a kind of a give me, but I'm sure this won't be it. It's only 10 points here. So I think that's it. I just wanted to mention the discussions, which you can link to right from the module. I just was really happy. I had a couple of students. I provided some examples. And I just want to give a shout out to Manuel, who was my very first person to post. Asma posted a lovely entry. Joaquin, and who cracked me up. It was awesome. And that's all I have so far. No big deal. They're not due till tomorrow at midnight. I think I just wanted to point out how happy I was to get those early. And that is the end of this video. I will try to do this every week where I kind of summarize how the week went for me in class, because again, I'm asking you to do that in your reflections, and fair seems fair.